Hello everybody, today we're doing Blocky on TryHackMe. So you can see I've already done the Nmap scan, and we can see we've got 4 ports open. I think this is an antivirus, and it's close, so it's not really something to look into, but FTP is something that we should look into first. We could Google this up, since we got a service version for Pro FTPD. So let's just Google it up and just type in exploit and see what comes up. We can see we get a exploit for FTPD for the same version that we have. But to tell you quickly, this will not work because it's, if you remember looking, it says FTP. Well, it's this version here, and if you check our version, we get an A. So if we do it, it doesn't work. I've tried it on Metasploit, and this is just like a bit of a rabbit hole in a way. So let's just go back to enumeration. So since we know this is a massive rabbit hole, we could also just try a login with FTP and see if that works. So I'm gonna get the IP address and put it in. And if you do an anonymous, press enter, we can see it doesn't work at all. So we can cross FTP off, and we can just focus on the part 80 web server now, since we know this may be the only thing that'll work. So one of the things we want to do is first add this to our etc host file. I'm going to put my password quickly to log in. But since we know to Blocky the name, it's probably going to be Blocky HTB for hackthebox. You can see I've already put it in, but if you're going to do it, you need to put this in, otherwise it may not work, the room. So I'm going to put in Blocky HTTP, Blocky hackthebox. And we can see we get Minecraft background, so we could be working with like a Minecraft server or something. And we can see this is a website that's still under construction, so don't expect too much right now. We're developing a wiki system for the server and a core plugin to track player stats and stuff, lots of great stuff. So we at least know there's a wiki system, so we could just type in wiki and see what comes up. And we can also see this is WordPress. We could Google up the WordPress version if you find it. But you can see under construction, please check in later. We will start publishing articles after we finish the main plugin server. The new core plugin will store your player time and other information in our database, so you can view your own, so you can see your own stats. Okay, we know there's a database and then there's something to do with plugin, so a core plugin. So we could run Gobuster and find this plugin database. If I just run Gobuster, I'm going to use Gobuster -the U for the URL, and we're going to put in the word list. So I'm going to use user share word list, not rockU. It's going to be I'm pretty sure Gobuster, and we're going to do directory small medium.txt. I'm going to let this run for a little bit. We may be able to find something. So we know this is WordPress. You could have a quick look and run maybe WPS scan on this website. But if we just type in WordPress, we can see we get a WordPress version right here. We can just see exploits, WordPress exploits. So let's Google this up. So if we do WordPress exploits, GitHub, let's see if we get any exploits on GitHub. And we can see this, we can have a look into these quickly, but we can see this won't give us any like POC or proof of concept. We could also look down, but we don't get anything at all. So this is like this is just another dead end. So we're bashing our heads against the wall trying to figure something out. We know this is a dead end. We could have a look into web content and see if directory listing is available. But yeah, it's not. By default, it's not allowed directly listing on WP content in the newer version of WordPress. You may be able to get it in an older version, but for this version it isn't working. We're going to look at plugins, and we get to jar files, which is pretty interesting. So I'm going to do ls again, and we can see we've got nothing downloaded. So I'm going to download these 2 files, so let's click on them. So we get blocky.jar, and we get blocky, and we get the second jar file. So if we do ls, we can see we got 2 jar files. Originally, I didn't know how to extract a jar file, so I did how to read or how to edit jar files Linux. And one of the things I got is that you can just extract them with I think it's unzip, which is the tool in Linux, but I did a little bit of searching about, and I was able to find out one of these Reddit Actually, one of these Stack Overflow posts and one of these Reddit posts that I was able to figure out, you can just extract it, because all the jar file is a renamed zip file. So we could unzip Blocky car and we could have a look into it. Personally, I have some experience with jar extracting and analysis, so I kind of have a bit of knowledge coming into this. So if I just cd into my first plugin and if we do ls again, we can see we get car class. So if we cut car class, we can see we get a user. So we get a local host, and this looks like a pass. Personally, to me, this looks like a password. So we got a user root and we got a password. So we know we got my PHP admin as well. We could have a look into that. So let's have a look into my PHP admin. So let's have a look into my PHP admin, and if I just do block HTTP and press enter, we can see we get my PHP admin. We could have a look at the service version, but for me personally, I found this is a bit of a dead end as well. So we know we're running underneath a WordPress website, so we could just use WPS scan. So that's enough Gobuster. So if we just do WPS scan --URL and put in the URL, and if we do -E to enumerate and just press enter, we can see WPS scan is already running, and we can see that it's given us some things to look at. So it showed us the WordPress version, and we can see we have an uploader directory, and we can see the theme, and it's out an outdated version of theme. We could have a look into this again, since it's I'm pretty sure it's 1.3 as well. I had a look into this. This is another dead end. So the key to this room is just keep enumerating. We could also have a look into the other WordPress file, which is this grief prevention, but personally I wasn't able to find anything in this. But to me personally, this looks like a password, and we got a user root, so it's like the password to like a MySQL database. So the scanner's finished, and we can see we get two users. Well, we get one user, just one with capitals and one without capitals. So if we can just do SSH, and we could use notch, SSH as notch into the machine, and it wants a password. So we got a password here. There could be a chance of password reuse, which is pretty common in the real world, and we can see we get in. If we do ls and ls-la, we can see we can read user.txt. I'm not going to read it, but now we can just do sudo-l since we were able to get the password. We were able to see what we can run as root. So if we do sudo su, since we can use anything as, since we can run any command as root. So if we just do sudo su to get to root, and if we do id, we get duid of 0. So we can even cat etc shadow. See, yeah, we can read etc shadow as well. We can get their root password if we really want to. But let's just go to root first things. So let's just get a root, and if we do ls-la, we can see we can read root as well. We can cut into root. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.